Our hymn this week, the 5th week of Lent, is Christ the Life of All the Living, Lutheran Service Book 420. In some ways, Christ the Life of All the Living is an unusual hymn. It is the only hymn by its author, Ernst Christoph, Homburg, that is in our hymnal or in any of the other common Lutheran hymnals. Its 8 stanzas, 7 we have in our hymnal, are devoted solely to the details of the suffering and death of our Lord Jesus Christ. The hymn has a two-line refrain to all the stanzas except for the last. It is, "Thousand, thousand thanks shall be, dearest Jesus, unto thee." I remember as a 2nd grader, maybe 3rd grader, at our Lutheran school, that singing this as our class. We would have a music class, and then we would sing a hymn, usually as part of each of those classes. And this hymn for Lent was one that, we maybe struggled with a little bit because of a lot of the words, but when we got to "Thousand, thousand thanks shall be," we all could sing loudly, and there was this great chorus of praise. The translator of this hymn is the 19th century English poet, Catherine Winkworth. She is the person who is the most prominent translator of German chorales into English, and we have her to thank for many of the chorales that we have in our hymnal. The composer of the tune is not known, but it comes from the late 17th century, at a time when chorale melodies were becoming a little bit more melodic, more song-like. Like Jesus' Refuge of the Weary that we heard a couple of weeks ago, this tune is very even in rhythm and has mostly stepwise melodic notation. In fact, it even has some repeated notes. For example, "Thousand, thousand thanks shall be, dearest Jesus, unto thee." Again, this is a hymn that doesn't have anything really that calls attention to itself, but it functions more to allow the worshiper to dwell upon the words and their meaning. Now, I would like to say a word about the organ settings that we have heard during Lent as part of these Lenten hymn meditations. In the first week of Lent, we heard a setting of "In Adam We Have All Been One" by David Schack, who's a prominent Lutheran composer living in Nebraska. Jesus' Refuge of the Weary was by a 20th century German composer, Hans Friedrich Michaelsen. For the 3rd and 4th weeks, we also had another German composer, Jan Bender, who actually immigrated to the United States after World War II and taught at both Concordia in Seward, Nebraska, and at another Lutheran college, Wittenberg in Ohio. The composer of this week's setting is Johann Sebastian Bach, taken from his little organ book. We thank you for participating by listening to these brief hymn meditations. Next week, Margaret Danilovich and I will be presenting organ preludes on favorite hymns of Holy Week. We invite you to listen to these organ pieces as part of your Holy Week meditation.